What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Boeckle Bros Channel, where we talk all things real estate. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Landon. And on today's episode, we're going to show you how we buy over 50 properties a year from the MLS. So a lot of people ask us, how do you guys buy so many properties a year from the MLS?
All the time.
Most investors and most flippers steer away from the MLS. They complain that there's no margins to be made on an MLS deal.
They look at us and they scratch their heads like, how are you doing this?
But why? Why do people think that there's no success to be made off the MLS?
I think they look at the homes that are listed on the MLS and they see that, or they think that most of every home is listed close to market price, close to the top value of what it could get.
Right, so they're saying that being that they're listed at top market value, there's no room for investors like us to come in, negotiate lower, have enough room in it to fully remodel the property and make a profit.
Right. It may seem daunting if you just look at that price that it's listed at, but again, you got to remember that's the asking price. They're asking for that. That doesn't mean necessarily that's what they're going to get.
So in today's episode, we're going to show you guys how untrue that statement is. We can make money off the MLS, and we do. Jesse and I flip over 50 properties a year from the MLS. So let's dive in. So Jesse and I have created a system that's allowed us to purchase a lot of properties from the MLS.
Right.
Out of the 225 plus flips that we've done to date, I'd say about 175 to 180 of them have been purchased from MLS.
Definitely, at least. So let's break it down how we do this. The first thing you need to realize is that we're licensed real estate agents. We actually own our own real estate brokerage. So if you're not a licensed agent, that's something that you're going to need to either become, or it's someone that you're either going to need to partner with in order to do this. And why do we say this? Because when you're a licensed real estate agent, one thing that you capture or recapture when you go purchase those homes that are listed on the MLS is commissions.
Right, the commissions are imperative on MLS transactions. Being able to take the commission dollars and tie it into the actual deal is what's allowed us to buy so many over the years.
Not only that, it makes the deal sweeter, but also that helps us pay those acquisition agents who find us those homes.
So how did we get these deals? Well, they don't just land in our lap. We have an in-house acquisitions team submitting a lot of offers.
Right.
10 to 15 offers per day, 5 to 6 days a week. We're always submitting offers.
You have to put the volume of offers out there, because what we found is that the return is fairly low. I'd say like in the single digit percentages of offers that actually get accepted. So the more you're sending out there, the more you're going to get back.
Yep, so we're sending 100, 150 offers a week. We're buying about 4 to 6 deals a month from the MLS.
It's also important to note that our acquisitions team is very knowledgeable about the numbers that they're submitting offers on. They've been taught by us about what a good buy means and how to estimate additional costs that go into a project. So when they submit offers, they know, and they use a really detailed calculator of how to actually come up with those numbers.
Right, the offers that they're submitting are realistic to us. If they get those offers accepted, it's probably going to be a deal that we're going to buy.
So we trust them. We trust them to use those numbers and submit those offers where they are appropriate.
Right. So what kind of properties are we offering on?
Great
a lot
question.
of people think that, well, on the MLS, you only offer on properties that are clearly beat up in the photos, or in the description it says it needs TLC, or investor-friendly properties.
I love that phrase.
Those are actually the hardest properties to win on the MLS.
Because everyone wants those.
Everyone wants them. It's a saturated market of agents and investors who are always chasing those deals. So we've taught our acquisitions team to chase the properties that are a little less obvious.
Those types of properties may not jump out at you from the pictures or the photos that are listed on the MLS, but in having a good conversation with the agent and maybe learning a little bit more about that seller's motivation, you can actually see that there may be a deal to be had on this house.
Yeah, you never know what a seller needs to do or wants to do.
And things change.
You never know their motivation. A seller could be sitting on the market for 30 to 60 days, holding strong to their offer price, but all of a sudden they have an immediate need to sell and move.
Right.
So it's all about timing. It's being in the right place at the right time with a quality, serious offer.
Absolutely.
One of our biggest, so I guess the moral of the story here is, Don't be afraid to submit offers on all properties that are less obvious, properties that don't make as much sense on paper immediately or by visual immediately.
Don't be afraid to go after a property that doesn't seem super obvious as an investment flip. Go after something that may not jump out at you, but have those conversations with agents, learn sellers' motivation, and that doesn't mean that you can't lock up a deal off the MLS that looks like a perfectly nice house for a discounted price.
We do it all the time, and we've been super successful with that method. So when our acquisition team is negotiating our offers, we start a little bit higher, right? We start on a cash-on-cash return of about 12% with our offers, knowing that after a couple of negotiations back and forth, we'll probably end up somewhere around the 9 to 10% margin mark.
Exactly. So we start a little bit higher, we negotiate a little bit farther down, and then ultimately, once we decide to purchase that home, we renovate it. It's inevitable. Things go wrong, things break. Houses always tend to surprise you.
We make changes that cost a little bit more money.
We decide to upgrade it a little bit more. That happens a little bit too often.
Every time.
So then we end up at the end of the day selling it and making, let's say, about an 8 or 9% return.
That's our average over the years, is about an 8% cash-on-cash return per investment property.
So the point of this being, don't exactly start out with your offer of exactly where you want to end up at the end of the day. Maybe start out a little bit higher and give yourself some room to negotiate and make changes so at the end of the day you're happy with the result. So we like to cover a lot of numbers here and give you guys actual tactical information. If you really find this valuable, hit the like and subscribe button below for more like this.
So one really important aspect of offering on the MLS and offering on listed properties by real estate agents is creating that relationship.
Super important.
Creating that relationship, creating that reputation within your market of being a high quality buyer or a high quality agent that offers on properties. This has proven time and time again to bring in more deals and raise your acceptance rate of offers that you're submitting.
That agent that you buy your investment flip from will most likely have another one of those, another one maybe this year or a couple more next year. So having that relationship where they come to you because you're a true, real performer, you're a true buyer, really creates a good relationship for both sides.
Yeah, you want them to feel comfortable bringing you a deal. If something falls out of escrow with another buyer, you want to be the first person on the Rolodex that they call.
Absolutely.
You want to be their go-to cash buyer if everything hits a fan and falls apart with their sellers. You want them to be able to confidently tell their sellers, hey, I've worked with this team before and they close deals.
Now imagine this, you've done this for a couple years, you've created dozens of relationships, and now a large portion of the homes that you invest in every year are brought to you. You actually don't have to go search for them.
That's the key. So overall, the MLS is a fantastic resource to find and buy flip properties.
Definitely don't steer away from the MLS. It's just a different animal.
Right, you got to learn how to use it. You got to build those relationships. You got to submit those offers, and don't be scared to do it. Submit on what's not obvious. Submit on something that doesn't make total sense up front. But at the end of the day, make sure that when you do submit, you can perform. That's the overall key to MLS properties.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So we really hope that this video changes your mind on MLS properties and acquisitions and helps you lock up more deals.
Right. We hope we found value in what we said today, and if you did, please drop us a comment below and hit that subscribe button for us as well.
And until then, we'll see you on the flip side.